Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is just going to be kind of like a sit down chill video. I really want to tell you guys about my NCLEX experience because I know there's a lot of videos going around, or not going around, but there's a lot of videos on NCLEX on YouTube. And when I was going through the videos before I took NCLEX, there wasn't a lot of videos about people who did get more than 75 questions. So I decided that I just want to make a video to kind of, make it more, I guess, available for, people, because a lot of times you don't get 75 questions, and so I don't want anyone to freak out if you get more than that. So that's what today's video is going to be. I'm kind of just going to tell you how my NCLEX was and what I did to prepare for it and kind of how things played out afterwards. So if you're interested in this video, then just keep on watching. So the whole time leading up to my NCLEX, I had a lot going on. I graduated nursing school, I got married, I went on my amazing honeymoon to Hawaii with my husband, and I moved to a whole new state. So basically, I had a lot of things going on when I was getting ready to take my NCLEX. I got my authorization to test about 2 weeks after we got back from our honeymoon, and I had about a week and a half to prepare for it because I knew I wanted to take my NCLEX as soon as possible. So that's my first tip. Take it as soon as you can. I know a lot of people disagree with this, and they say that you need to, study for a whole month or study for the longest time, but I took a month off to kind of celebrate me getting married and celebrate me graduating. And after I did that, I took it as soon as I could when I got my authorization to test. So I studied for about a week and a half, and what I used to study was UWorld. And one of my friends from nursing school suggested it to me, and I did all of the practice questions that were on there. I took a lot of notes, especially on the questions that I got wrong. I took a lot of notes, and I think it really, really helped me. So those are my first two tips. Number one, schedule it as soon as you can. Take it as soon as possible, and don't take forever to study for it, because if you do, you're going to end up psyching yourself out, and you don't want to do that. And number two, I would find a really good program to study with, and in my experience, UWorld was the best option. Now I'm going to talk to you about my actual day before NCLEX and the day of NCLEX. So the day of NCLEX, my parents and I actually had to go the day before my NCLEX and drive down to a whole different area in our state of South Carolina to take my NCLEX because they didn't have any scheduled for Greenville where I wanted to take it. So we drove to Columbia and stayed overnight in a hotel. The night before and the whole day before, I did no studying beforehand. I made sure to enjoy myself. I went to church the day before because I took it on a Monday. I went to church, I relaxed, I prayed. We drove down to Columbia. My parents took me to Longhorn to eat, and when we got back home, or when we got back to the hotel, I just kind of relaxed. I chilled, I got ready for bed, and I laid in bed and played on my phone. I didn't do any more questions. I didn't look over anything. I just knew, I was like, if I don't know it by now, I'm not gonna know it. So that's kind of what I did, and I really think that helped me because I wasn't stressing, I wasn't worried about it. And so yeah, that's my third tip, is don't do anything the day before and make sure you're relaxed. And so here comes the morning of my NCLEX. I woke up and I was totally fine. I wasn't nervous, or I didn't think that I was nervous, and I just got ready and I went down, and they had breakfast at the hotel that we were staying at, and I was sitting there and I was like, okay, I know I have to eat a good breakfast. So I got down there and I literally only ate a bite of toast and a bite of bacon because I was so nervous. I could not eat. I drank a whole bottle of water and I just couldn't. My parents were like, Casey, you need to eat. And I was like, I genuinely cannot eat. I'm so nervous. So that was when I started to get nervous, but I just kept taking deep breaths because I knew it was going to be okay. So my test was at 8 o'clock. So they told us to get there at 7:30. I got to my testing center at 7:15 because it was right next to our hotel, and I just told my dad, I was like, I'm not gonna be late, so you're gonna drop me off early, like super early. So I actually got there early. They checked me in, they did the whole fingerprint thing, and I got to start my test at about 7:30 or 7:40. So I thought that was a really good thing because I just kind of got to relax and chill, and then as soon as I got there, I took my NCLEX. So I thought it was wonderful. So a lot of people tell you that there are a ton of Select All that applies on NCLEX, and I'm not gonna lie, there is a ton of Select All that apply on NCLEX. So I highly recommend doing a ton of Select All that apply questions and do a ton of priority setting questions. I felt like I was very prepared for NCLEX, and I went in there not thinking, I didn't go in there thinking that I was going to get 75 questions. And this is the whole point of this video. You cannot go into NCLEX thinking that you are going to get 75 questions. If you do that, then you are going to freak yourself out when that test hits 76. And I know this from experience because I was like, I told myself I wasn't going in there thinking I was gonna get 75 questions, but when I got 76, I was like, holy crap, okay, this is getting real. Like, I didn't pass already and I need to buckle down and get through this. So once I hit like 80, I was like, all right, whatever, I'm gonna get a good bit more questions than everyone else that I know. But my test kept going, and I hit 100, and I was like, all right, 100, and I was like, it's fine, like, there's no way I'm gonna get 265. So I kept taking the test, and I hit 150, and I was like, okay, and I started sweating a little bit because I was like, now I'm getting really, really nervous. And then I hit 200, and I was genuinely about to have a panic attack. And I think that it's really important for you to understand that people pass with a variety of numbers of questions that they get. It doesn't matter if you get all 265 or 75 questions, people pass and people fail. So I just kind of sat there, I took a deep breath, and I just prayed, and I was like, Lord, just get me through this test. So I sat there and I hit 250, and I was like, okay, there's no way I'm getting all 265. So after my 250, I was like, all right, I just knew I was gonna get 265. I was like, you know what? There's no way. I cannot believe that this is happening. And I hit next after 250, and my test cut off. And when I tell you I had all the emotions running through me at that point, I had all the emotions. I was nervous. I was terrified. I was sad. I was excited because I was done. I had every emotion in the book that you could think of at that moment. So I got up and I raised my hand or whatever, and I told them that I was finished, and then I had to take the little survey thing at the end, and then I was done. And I left. I was like, all right, I'm finished, and I went to the restroom, and I thought that I was like good. I was like, you know what, this is fine. Like, I'm not like freaking out, and I'm not gonna like start crying, nothing. So I went downstairs and I sat down in the lobby of this building waiting on my parents to come and pick me up. And I felt this huge knot just in my throat. I was like, what is going on? Like, why am I about to cry? So I got up and I went outside, and I kid you not, I lost it. I started bawling my eyes out, and I was like, why am I so upset? And I think it was because I freaked myself out because I was worried that I got too many questions to pass. So my parents came and picked me up. I got in the car with them, and I started bawling my eyes out even more because they wanted to talk to me about my NCLEX, and I just lost it. I was like, I got way too many questions. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I got so many questions. It just kept going and going and going, and I was literally just freaking out. And my mom told me, she was like, Casey, you're the one who told me before you went in to take this test that you were not going in there thinking that you were going to get 75, that you were going in there thinking that you were getting 265. So you need to take a deep breath and understand that everyone passes with different number of questions. So I was like, okay, my mom's preaching to me what I specifically said to her, so I need to calm down. On the way home, or before I took my NCLEX, I heard about the Pearson View trick, and I was like, okay, you know, I don't know if this is gonna work. I was literally so nervous that I was like, I don't even want to do it. We got back to the hotel and started packing and everything, and I told my dad, was like, do you want me to do it for you? And I was like, no, I don't even want to know. Like, I'm genuinely just freaking out. And so we were in the car, and I wasn't talking to my parents because I was freaking out and I was so upset. And I was in the car by myself, or not by myself, but I was sitting in the back seat just keeping to myself, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the Pearson VUE trick. So I went and did the Pearson VUE trick, and it wouldn't let me register for another test. And I was like, I felt a little bit better, and then I told my parents, I was like, okay, it didn't let me register for another test, so I'm not gonna be freaking out anymore. So I got home, I went to dinner with my family and everything, and I was like checking constantly the Florida Board of Nursing's thing to see if my license number had came up yet. And so I didn't get it that day, but the very next day I was sitting in the kitchen. I remember I went to a little event at my nephew's school, and I came back home with my parents, and I was flying back to Florida that day. And I got on my computer just randomly. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna check it. I'm pretty sure it's not there. And I logged into the Florida Board of Nursing page, and I saw my license number. And when I tell you guys that I was freaking out, I was genuinely freaking out. Like, I was like, there's no way, I cannot believe this. I passed my test and I didn't get 75 questions. So the whole point of this video was for me to tell you, don't go in there thinking that you're going to get 75 questions. If you do that, you're going to freak yourself out, and you're probably going to, you know, stress and over worry yourself about this situation. So go in there thinking you're going to get 265. If you get 150, great. If you get 75, oh my god, that's awesome. You know, people fail in 75 questions. People pass in 75 questions. People fail at 250. People pass at 250. So you don't know what your situation is going to be. So just go in there knowing that your experience is going to be different than everybody else's. And know that no matter what happens, you can take it again, and you're going to be the best nurse ever, because this is something that you worked so hard for, and it's going to be a great experience no matter what the outcome is. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I know that there's a lot of videos about NCLEX out there, but there wasn't a lot about like this when I was looking at videos about NCLEX beforehand. So yeah, if you liked this video, then make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. I would love to make more nursing videos. I actually just got my very first nursing job, so if you'd like to hear more about that and about the interview process and some tips about interviewing for your first nursing job, then just let me know, and I would love to make that video for you guys. So I love you, and thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Mwah.